They play hard. You got to tip your hat to them. They definitely play hard. You can't go freaking bear hunting with BB guns.
There's no tomorrow if we don't win today.
Mark Gardner played for the 1984 Glacier Pilots. I'd been drafted by the Cleveland Indians, and I was in negotiations with them, and things weren't going that, very well. And I just told them that I'm going to go ahead and go up to Alaska and play. If things start to work out, then we can talk up there. Or they were going to come see me up there. And I got there a little bit late. They had the rotation set, so they put me in the bullpen, and I ended up being the closer. Steve McFarland was the manager then. Brent Kimmis was the pitching coach. Funny, from Wichita State. He was a great guy. We had tons of fun with him. Mac was always, he was a loose guy, and he let us play, and we're still in touch. He's with the Cubs now, working with the Cubs, and sends me a Christmas card every year. So it was, we made some strong friendships. It's like being an all-star team. You had guys from all parts of the country, some of the best players in the country, and your level of play was high, and the competition was high. And also you had a job, you had to work, you had to clean the field, you had to mark the lines, clean the trash out from under so you had a responsibility. Well, I just think about the overall experience. I look back and I say this was the best summer I've ever had, and just being able to feel at home, comfortable in a house with a family that accepts you there and takes care of you, and be able to play baseball with a bunch of great guys, and playing in the league that's, highly touted, and just the level of competition. It does leave a mark, and it leaves a lot of fond memories with me, and I know I want to go back someday. When I'm out of the game and I do have this summer to do something, I want to go back. I want to go see Alaska again. I live with the Dickinsons up there. They were great people, great family, treated us great. I ended up having Nez Balello live with us also, another player from this area. Went to Pepperdine, he was an infielder. And we just had a great time. It was so much fun. Oh yeah. We went fishing. We kind of have forced a day off at one point. We accidentally left the hose on underneath the tarp one night, and came back and the field was flooded, and they had to call the game, and off we went fishing. Went to the Kenai River, and we caught us some salmon, brought it home, and the Dickinsons cut it up, nice steaks, and barbecued it, and it was outstanding. Having Lefty and Coach O'Toole there, they passed it on. They passed on those stories of how the other teams were great. And it was the Fairbanks and the Pilots, the Glacier Pilots and Fairbanks were the two rival teams, and probably had the best talent in the league. It just wasn't a big rivalry between the Matsu Miners, let's say, or the North Pole Knicks. And it was the Gold Panthers and the Glacier Pilots. I mean, we went at it. We had the best talents, and it was funny. We ended up in Wichita playing against each other, and ended up being kind of a meaningless game, so to speak. But during the season, that was it, and we got off to a great start that year. I think we were 11-1 at one point, and Fairbanks was trying to catch up, and we just played tough. We got off to a great start, so. But that was the rivalry for us. Those two teams. The Bucks were kind of up and coming, and they were kind of they weren't as competitive as they probably are now. And I'm sure now that the league's probably pretty strong now with all these college players. No, he had stories, but most of them were lessons. Baseball lessons. He was a great baseball mind, and he'd been around the game and had seen a lot, and just passing things on. He got in there. He got dirty. He went in there and would show you things and tell you things about baseball. And I know later on, and he was doing some scouting. He had a good eye for talent, but he also was a good teacher. He would stop things and say, hey, listen, this is the way we got to do things. And of course, his sidekick Lefty, they just had great stories, and always kept us loose. Kept it fun. Very rarely was there ever a yell or a shout or, don't do this or don't do that. It was very, very loose, and but then again, to the point. Let's do it right. I don't know about the games, but I know going to Matsu, it was always a mosquito fighting with mosquitoes, and we started a fire in the bullpen just to keep them away from us. We just picked up a bunch of cups and papers and little pieces of wood, and because our cutter, the mosquito stuff it was like attracting them, and these things were huge. So we started a little fire, and nobody stopped us, and they all knew what we were trying to do, and it worked. It smoked them out of there. So we tried to keep it going. I remember back, we had this guy they were trying to beef up the entertainment value at the park, and this guy came in and pitched his gimmick to the team, and he was an older gentleman. He had kind of a Evel Knievel type motorcycle suit with a helmet, and they painted a bullseye out in right field on the wall in foul territory, and every time a pilot would hit a homer, he would take off running on a sprint and then ram his head into the bullseye. And I think his name was like Harvey the Wall Banger or something the Wall Banger. I can't remember, but he was the gimmick, and so everybody was trying to hit the home run just to see the guy hit, and he would lay there all dramatic, and then he'd pop up and everybody would go crazy and clap and just to see if he was alive, and he played it off, and I don't know if that gimmick lasted the whole year, but it was there for a while.